Hey guys, you must be wondering where I'm at right now. Um, I'm currently on the street that my tiny house is on. I've been meaning to make a video about this for some time and I haven't been able to because, well, it's kind of a long process, but I bought some land, um, a few acres of raw forested land, um, and my goal is to eventually build it into a food forest, a fruit a fruit forest, a food garden, a homestead, whatever that turns out to be. But I just I think that if I wanted to retire, I want to retire in a garden where I can just pick fruits and eat from the land as I please. And so in order for me to do that, I had to start making plans of making that happen. And so I bought some land, and during COVID started making progress on it, which I guess it's a blessing in disguise. But I'm glad I started the process, and I just wanted to show you uh, where we're at right now. So what we're looking at is the street. It's mostly forested agricultural land. These lots are long and skinny. They go 2 acres in per lot. It's a pretty quiet section of the community. Most of these are agricultural / residential. So you can grow stuff, you can farm, you can live here if you want to. Um, Obviously, there are certain limits to what you can and cannot build, but I want to show you what I've been up to. Here's my driveway. It's a little overgrown, so pardon the appearance. Every time I come back, things just completely grow back, and I have to trim every time I come back. So that's the bulk of the work that I've been doing when I've been back. As I approach the excavated area, you see my tiny house. In 2022, I bought a tiny house from a local builder here in Big Island on the Hilo side. They are a brother-sister design team that builds custom tiny houses for the people in the community and off island as well. But this was one of their first tiny houses that they built. That was one of their early early investors, and I bought this beautiful little tiny house that I immediately fell in love with and knew that that was going to be it because it just fits into this lot so nicely. We moved it in as soon as this area was excavated. This is only 1 acre out of 2 that we opened up. There's 1 more acre back there that I will eventually hand clear. I didn't want to bulldoze and excavate the entire thing because there are really beautiful native ohias here that I want to preserve because we are butt up against a natural reserve that way. So I wanted to keep this entire area a natural corridor so that wildlife can pass through. We have a lot of native birds that fly around here as well, so these trees are great for that. There are invasive ferns and weeds and whatnot that I will be clearing selectively over time, and that can only happen when I'm settled here for longer stretches of time, which is why I bought the tiny, so that when I'm out here, I at least have somewhere to stay without incurring too much of a cost. Eventually, I do want to plant fruit trees, along this area, along that edge. That's the property line right there. I have an opening here that I think I eventually will want to either build a greenhouse, a dome, either a container thing or whatever. I have a lot of thoughts about this, but I haven't quite decided on what to do with it yet. But I think I'll know once I settle here for longer stretches of time, like I said. The goal for me right now is to get the tiny house to a livable shape that I can stay here for longer than, say, like 20 days or so. Because every time I come back, it's only been about a week or two, and you can't really get too much work done in that amount of time. So I want to be here longer, to be able to work on the land and actually start planting things and clearing things. So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on what's going on here. You can see what we've been up to. I think the next step also, I need to get a car. I'll have to figure that out. Anyway. Anywho, here's the tiny. The house is running on solar. I have a little portable solar generator that can power the house. At least enough for a few hours a day. When it isn't sunny, I'll have to use the generator to power, to juice it up, which isn't terrible. But I think for the long term, I'll have to build an actual solar system that can keep the house powered throughout the day, because it's not on 24 hours right now. We only have the solar thing on for, during the day. And at night, we have to run the generator for a little bit just to keep things going. So we don't really have a fridge running, and our meals are, ad hoc. Every day is different. Anyway. Currently, all our water comes from rain. These gutters feed that water cistern back there. It's a 10,000 gallon water tank, far bigger than what I really needed. It's a bit overkill for what we need, but it's enough to supply for like a whole household or even 2 houses. So if I get another tiny or something, I probably don't need another water tank, and somehow just feed the water over. But other features of the tiny, it's got a bedroom. This right here is the bedroom. That's a kitchen, and then bathroom is in the front, and a little living area in the center. There is a lofted little area there. You can put a mattress or bed for guests if I ever have someone over. But right now it's just used as storage. On the back side of the house, there's an outdoor shower that I occasionally use after days of work or whatever, and it's really quite pleasant after a hot, sweaty day. Come out here, get a cold shower. We'll eventually put a privacy screen somewhere out here, just so that it's easier to walk around. We've been trying to pave a bit of this walkway here so that it's nicer to walk on. We've also been clearing whatever areas that we want to be cleared and moving all that organic matter into areas that we want it to be. So we've been kind of preparing this entire strip here as a kind of a mulch area of paper, debris, organic matter, whatever we can find that will break down faster, so that this area will be plantable in the next, I don't know, half year or so. But we do want to start planting along this edge right here so that we have some coverage of the house, because right now the house is pretty exposed to the street. You can see it. Initially, it was a little tucked away in the back, but yeah, now that the adjacent lot has been opened up, the house is very much exposed, so we would love to have some barrier to, hide the house when I'm not here. I would show you the inside of the house, but it's kind of a mess right now because we're kind of still fixing things up. Even though the tiny is turnkey and livable and ready to go, there's still a few things that I need to resolve. Either way, hopefully I'll get you some footage of the interior when it's looking all a bit better. As you can see, there's still like trash and just random stuff still laying around that we're in progress of. The water tank was one of the last things that we finished building because we needed water in order to shower and drink and wash and all that stuff. So the water tank took a bit, but we finally got it running. The water pump and whatever is in this shed, which took some figuring out. But we did it. Now we have water, and there's the solar panel right now charging the battery. This feed stock tank we're using as a bathtub for fun. Just cause it's nice to bathe in the outdoors under the stars. We've done that already. It was really quite nice. It's a pretty big stock tank, far bigger than the tubs that you can find in apartments in New York or LA or San Francisco or whatever. But I'm really enjoying myself. It's one of my favorite places to be. My little getaway sanctuary, tucked away in the forests. It's so quiet. There are no cars, no car sounds, no sirens, no buses, no traffic noise, no neighbors. Well, there are neighbors, but no neighbors above me or next to me. I live in an apartment in LA, and there's always noise issues from neighbors in the apartment. I'm used to it growing up in cities, but it isn't really until you come out here and know what silence and quiet really feels like. You don't really know what you miss out on. But I can hear myself better here. I can feel myself clearer here. I'm not as distracted out here. So, anyway. Let's see, what other things can I show you? We haven't planted anything. We did stick to crowns of pineapples that we ate here. We stuck them in the ground and they took. We found a spot where there's actually some pretty nice soil. So that's the first one. It had some trouble with boar damage. We have a wild boar on here in the forest, and it likes to dig, and this was chewed up, but it didn't die and it came back recovered, so hopefully it'll stay that way. And then last trip we put that in the ground. That's another pineapple, and that's took too. So seems like a little nice area to plant little things, keep them protected. Anyway, I'm trying to make use of any possible soil that I can find on the land. it seems that this was untouched for a long time, so it did have some time to build a good layer of soil. But you know, wherever they gather, like that's gonna be where I will plant likely. So wherever I walk around and there's cushy, soft, loamy kind of, you know, um, layer of earth, that will likely be where I put a fruit tree or something. Obviously, considering what's around it. Um, but that's the plan. Um, there's a lot of invasive strawberry guava plants, all in this area, not just my lot. They grow quite densely. It's these guys. They're really tall, skinny guava trees. You would think that because they're guava trees that they produce fruit and they're actually a good thing, but thing is they grow so fast and they grow so densely that they snuff out other plants in the surrounding area. Not only that, because they grow so densely, the fruits are never really that great. So all they are is just these really long, dense trunks. Only a few produce fruit, and even then, they're just kind of okay. Not very tasty. Although I feel like I can probably do something with them. So here's some of that guavas, strawberry guavas. Maybe make preserves out of them or something. Jam, maybe a spread. Who knows? Maybe in the future I'll try it. But we try to clear as many of that as possible just so that the ohias have a chance, because they do get a little bit suffocated back there. And I suspect the wood is probably useful for something else. We're not sure yet. Maybe use it to build stuff. Who knows? And if not, maybe I'll just chip them for mulch. There was a boar that lived in here that came through and chewed up my pineapple. I think there was a family at some point, but I think they've since moved away. I think there's a lot of activity in this neighborhood in terms of excavations and people buying up the lots. So more people are moving into this neighborhood. I suspect that will likely drive the wild boars to migrate to other areas. But we do see some occasionally along the street. It's so quiet. There's something else that I really love about this that is hard to explain on camera, on video, because there's an energy here that I feel, and as some of you may know, I'm pretty sensitive to energy and vibrations. There's the energy here is so strong and so powerful that it seems to force out all the negative, I don't know, unhealthy feelings that I have. And I don't know, being here makes it all go away somehow. Like nothing else is really that important. Like this is the most important thing that I can be with. And that's amazing. Anyway, I switched the hat. It got hot. So, hopefully I'll get to show you more stuff when we get to work on more of the land, and hopefully I'll start doing tours of my fruit trees once I get that started. I may document the process. I'm not sure yet. I thought about doing a YouTubes for it, but I don't know, I haven't really getting into the habit of documenting things, so who knows what you'll get. Anyway, that's it for now. Just wanted to show you guys what I'm up to.